Hi guys, and welcome to another deck profile video. This deck profile is for a Elemental Mistress Doriado deck. The deck is really fun. This deck is not finalized, as with most of my stuff, and I'm still working on it, but I'm going to comment on the card choices as I go through the video, and things I'm probably going to change. So what the main goal of the deck really is to make this thing and keep it on the field, sort of. And how that's done is you Manju for either the Advanced Ritual Art or the Doriado, whichever one you don't have, and then you what happens is you activate this and you pitch a Genex Controller from your grave as a cost for Doriado, and then once Genex Controller is in the grave, you normal summon Darkbug and get this back, and you ritual summon this, and this is 3, this is 3, this is 1, and you make Genex Ally Triforce. And when you synchro summon with Doriado, since she counts as a lot of attributes, he gets all his effects. One of them being you can get a light monster from the graveyard, which is probably one of the most important ones. And that's special summon in face down defense position, so that's once per turn, so it has a little bit of synergy with Manju. If Manju manages to stay on the field after he gets special summon, you can flip summon him to do more searching. Other things, if Blackluster Soldier was searched, or was special summoned, sorry, and sent to the graveyard, and this thing somehow is still in the field after that, you can bring back BLS. I don't run Honest in this build. I'm really thinking about putting it in Honest. Really am. Can also bring back Armory Arm if you made that, and it somehow got destroyed. Yeah, I don't know. You can do a lot with this, but I would say the MVP of the deck overall is actually Dewloren, but I'm going to talk about that later. Anyways, 2 Genex Controller because it's the thing that's going to be pitched. I do want to run 3 though, because sometimes normal summoning Genex Controller is not that bad, which is really why I want to run 3. If I ran 3, I could also run Allure of Darkness as well, so that's kind of like why I wanted to run that. 1 BLS because of BLS. To search this thing, I was actually going to run a Gold Sark, since this deck does have access to Leviair. And Gold Sark's not impossible to, not Gold Sark's not possible. Leviair's quite easy to make since you can do a lot of rank 3 plays. Things like Tour Guides and Crane Cranes. So you could banish something like Genex Controller and get it back with Leviair, or you could just banish BLS and sit on it for 2 turns. And get it to the hand and BLS for game, because it usually is game. And 3 Manjus because it's a searcher. 2 Tour Guide is really nice, I think, because 1, it's dark, so it's food for BLS, and also because it is a rank 3 by itself. Also not dead if you're having to draw 2 Tour Guides, it's just a little minus is all. Other things about Tour Guide? Tour Guide is pretty. 2 Crane Cranes. 2 Crane Cranes because you pitch Genex Controllers, and Crane Crane in this thing is a level 6 synchro, which is probably going to be either a Vulcan or a Dewloren, and then you just do things from there. For example, you can call the Haunted back Genex Controllers, synchro with them, and then use Dewloren to mount Call the Haunted, reuse them, etc. You could also do the same thing with Manju, and you can also do the same thing with hand traps. So you could call back like Effect Valor and Call the Haunted, and you can bounce both of them and they'll both go to your hand, which is really cool. Not that I did that in any of the duel videos that I'm going to upload after this, because those duels were actually horrendous. 2 Maxx. This deck has an issue with draw power, so I have Maxx to you know, see more of my cards, and also as a special summon deterrent. If not, then draw a lot of cards and be able to do what I need to do, because this deck needs 1, 2, sort of 3 cards to do its thing, which you don't really need, which you don't really see like in the first hand. So you have to Manju for some things, and you have to Maxx for others. And Duality is the other card that helps you see more of your stuff. Only Duality is a little more reliable. 2 Advanced Ritual Art, it's only at 2. 2 MST, kinda staple, don't have a third. It's not that important since I do run Safe Zones and Forbidden Lances, mainly for keeping this guy on the field, but of course you can do it with anything. You can Safe Zone opponent's monster, MST it or something. You can lance pretty much everything. 1 Book of Moon is pretty much staple. A lot of staples I don't put in every deck, but a lot of staples do belong in a lot of decks, and Book of Moon is one of them. Some decks might choose Compulse over Book of Moon though, depending. For example, this deck has a boss monster that's pretty nice if you actually synchro summon him with Doriado. So you kind of want to keep it on the field and you want to stop your opponent from doing things, and if you book something you can actually get over it because this thing's pretty big. But if for example you ran, if you had all the tiny monsters, then maybe you'd prefer Compulse, or you could just put both of them in. I don't really know anything about deck building. My deck building is absolutely horrible. That's why I'm still struggling to fix this deck, which shouldn't be an issue, but moving on. Fuh Rin Kah Zan. This card was at 3, but I just put it down to 2. It's meant to work with Doriado, and what happens is, basically if she's on the field, you can it's either a Heavy Storm, a Lightning Vortex, draw 2 cards, or discard 2 from your opponent's hand. It's really nice. It's kind of like everything in one. Only running 2 though, because some games you really just don't open Doriado. Of course, if you do open Doriado and this thing, it's amazing. I also like to see multiples of this thing go off, which is why I'm kinda stuck on whether or not I want to run 3, but 2 seems to be okay. It's not really something you want to open unless you have the play. Bottomless and Solemn are definitely staples in pretty much everything. 2 safe zone, because I kind of explained it, you have the boss monster thing that you kind of want to protect, and there's more than one use for safe zone. 2 Fiendish Chains and 3 called the Haunted, and I guess the safe zones as well, because these are all continuous traps, and that means Dewloren can have some fun with that. You can reuse chains, you can reuse Call the Haunted, you can reuse safe zones / kill an opponent's monster in the process. In the duel video, I got a little happy with Dewloren, and I did a lot of dumb shit. Just saying, never do that. Yeah. Extra deck. There's a lot of things I'm not sure about, and some things I do want to keep. Zenmaines definitely. Leviair definitely. Leviathan Dragon has done its work. Digusto Emerald is nice. Sometimes you do get 2 level 4s on the field. Especially since you do have Call the Haunted, etc. It's nice because you can target Genex Controller and get it back. Or you can shuffle back things you need. You can shuffle back tour guides, more hand traps, reuse those. Really good card in general. Armory Arm definitely, Dark Diviner definitely, Dark Bug Genex Controller is this guy, and he's absolutely awesome. You can sit on this guy if you have to. If your opponent can't pop this with a card effect, then you're pretty much a-okay. Dewloren is absolutely MVP, and I'm not even using Dewloren properly. I'm not even using Dewloren properly. You can do so much with Dewloren that I'm not doing, but I'm just bad. Vulcan, because it does pretty much the same thing as Dewloren, only 1 face-up card you control and 1 face-up card your opponent controls. Psyhemuth, not rank 6. Level 6 synchro, my opinion, is one of the best level 6 synchros that are generic, that you can go into. It's a DD Warrior Lady, and it's really nice. Ancient Fairy Dragon, not too sure about, but it's Ancient Fairy Dragon, and if you're playing against a field spell, it's kinda nice. Black Rose, definitely, because you can make the 7, and this thing is the field nuke that you need sometimes. Triforce, 2 of. 1 would not be enough, 3 would be too many, because there's other things I want to play. Level 8 synchros, Stardust, and other things in general. I'm not too sure about level 8s because I don't know how easily I can make them. You can make level 8s pretty easily if you just Dark Bug this thing and Manju if they happen to stay on the field. But I don't know what would be the better thing to do. I don't know how often this comes up. It has come up occasionally, and Stardust has definitely done its thing, but I'm still thinking Stardust Spark Dragon might be a better choice in this deck. I'm gonna put it in now. Typing with one hand is slow. Stardust Spark Dragon. And yeah, and Leo, because it's funny and you can make it. Because your main card is a 7, and you have the level 3 tuner, so I thought why not, really. So yeah, there's probably like 1 or 2 cards in the extra I like to change, but apart from that I think the extra is playable. Really iffy. Main deck, definitely I want to do some changes. Really main issue with this deck is you have to see some stuff, and some specific stuff. And gold cycling for that stuff would be too slow. Of course you could gold cycle BLS though and just have that looming over, you know. people. Side deck is not really anything at the moment. Side deck is kinda generic side deck for this format, really, at least in my opinion. This is what I've seen most people siding. Anyways, apart from like the general stuff most people run, I just run Light of Intervention because I hate ghost tricks, and Debunk because yeah, and Blackhorns on the side just cause. So yeah, this is the Doriado deck profile video. I'll be uploading a duel video with this deck as well. The duel video is absolutely horrible, but I hope you watch it and have a good laugh. Also uploading a premium gold opening. Please ignore all the comments in that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next profile.